Monday Night Raw has the biggest episode that they ever had, ever in their history. And for some reason, bro, they just decided to flop with too much bright lights, too much over-the-top aesthetics, which was fine with the drones and, you had the fireworks and all that. The aesthetic look, that intro was epic. They had everything they needed, but at the same time, they didn't have what they needed, which was continuity in storylines. This episode drew no stories. It told 0 stories. It finished no stories that we actually started weeks ago. It actually completed and accomplished nothing. This episode was garbage. Honestly, they focused and leaned in way too much on the casuals here. They shilled out Hulk Hogan. Oh my God, that was so cringe, bro. Man, I cringed at that moment. I felt so bad for them. I know Triple H just wanted to go off the air at that point. What are we talking about, man? It's your boy Prince Maverick running this thing back around again on the YouTube machine. And we are here to talk about the Monday Night Raw debut on Netflix and my opinions on it. So, smash that like on the way in. Just wanted to give y'all the little cold opening intro just to give y'all the feel of what we're here for, because we're here to talk about it in full. So let's get it. Let's get it. All right. So clearly y'all seen what I seen, and this show is a flop. Let's just call a spade for spade of exactly what it is. If I'm here to give AEW and Tony Khan shit, I told y'all back in 2024 in the last upload, this year is dedicated to giving Triple H and Nick Khan exactly what the hell they deserved this entire time. It's not that I didn't want to rip them apart. It's just the fact that I have so much on my agenda. I have so many things to do throughout the day that it's hard to push out certain videos at certain times. But I'm working better on that this year for 2025. But I was able to catch that Raw episode in full last night. And I gotta be honest with you, man. They focused way too much on the casual fans, chilling out. People like the American Badass Undertaker only showed for a few seconds. They pointed to the wrestlers in the crowd and stuff. They only focused on them. They didn't really focus on the in-ring talent, the stories that are happening now with the Judgment Day implosion, with the Tribal Combat. They started off with Tribal Combat, by the way. Let's start with that. So, what are my takes on Tribal Combat? Well, in order to give you my takes on Tribal Combat, I will have to talk about what happened first. The Rock. He comes out. He basically shields Netflix, shields the producers of Netflix. He dick rides them, tells them how happy he is, and that WWE's here and WWE's breaking barriers again. We're breaking records. We're breaking numbers. Oh shit! What everybody knows every week. You're telling us the same thing that we already know. Nobody knows. Nobody cares about that, Rock. Nobody. Everybody cares through your eyes, through WWE's eyes, through your directors and all the suit and ties. You guys care, but the fans, we don't care. We don't give a fuck about the numbers. We don't give a fuck about any of that stuff, dude. All we care about is what you guys brought us here for, and that was to sell us on what you were selling to us. The fact that this was going to be the biggest show of the year. We came to get what you wanted to deliver. But instead, what they delivered, guys, was The Rock coming out basically saying a whole bunch of nothing, continued nothing. He had Cody Rhodes in the crowd and he said nothing to him. There was no heat. He thanked him for doing a great job the whole year. And the Prince is just sitting back like, what the fuck am I listening to? Am I this high? I had to light one up at that point. I'm like, am I this high, or is The Rock sitting here literally telling us that he wasted our time? Legit. So no WrestleMania story going into WrestleMania 41 with him versus The Rock, and The Rock actually wanted his title shot that he earned last year. Damn, talk about the difference between this year's WrestleMania and last year's. The energy it feels like they fell flat on the energy. And that's the part that sucks. Because why even go out of your way to give us that in the first place? If it's just going to take it away and snatch it right out of our faces just because oh, we got to shield Netflix's debut. And we got to shield just how important WWE is going to be to Netflix. So we got to show up in our suits and ties and be on our best behavior and play it safe. No, WWE, they kill me with this. Their biggest problem is just as big as AEW and Tony Khan's. But you see, they have the opposite problem. You see, Tony Khan's issue is that he doesn't tell enough story, as to where Triple H's issue is that he tells so much story that he drags it out way too long. And these long dragged out feuds, these long dragged out title reigns, these long dragged out story arcs are slowly but surely starting to make people lose patience. And Triple H, you do not want to do that. You got the fans exactly where you had in the last couple of years. Ever since Vince left, you don't want them to start peeling out the palm of your hands, dog. You don't want that. But you're doing it with shit like this. Letting Cody Rhodes just sit there and smile. He's all happy, guys. He's got his little Poindexter suit on, man. He's happy, bro. He's happy. Just like Ricochet. Both of them had their Poindexter suit on. They both happy. He's happy to be here. He's smiling. He's left and right. He's smiling left and right. He's he's just a happy guy. Cody Rhodes is just happy to be there. He's not angry at The Rock. He's not upset. He's not, there to challenge The Rock. There to face The Rock. There to question why The Rock is there, right, before Tribal Combat. He's not there to do any of that. And then, of course, we got Roman Reigns. He just name drops Roman Reigns. He thanks his cousin. So we completely get away from The Rock versus Roman? Are you kidding me? Just completely get away from it? I don't know. I smell something up with that. I mean, The Rock hands Roman Reigns to Tribal A. So now we go into Tribal Combat. So, speaking of Tribal Combat, my review on that is simple. It was a waste of time. It was simple, straight to the point. It was good for what it was. I liked it, but it was just kind of a waste of time. There was not going to be any theatrics afterwards, which there weren't. I don't know. You can say I'm complaining, man. You can say I'm wanting too much. I'm asking for too much. And maybe I am. Maybe you guys are right. Maybe I'm, or could it be? Could it be that I'm asking for the one thing that was actually promoted to me, and that was the fact that this was going to be huge, Tribal Combat. I mean, you got the extra theatrics at the end with, the OG bloodline coming out to help fend off the new bloodline. But, that's some stuff we saw at Wrestlemania, That's some stuff you can see on the regular. They didn't really decide to break any barriers or go over the top. They didn't decide to, get fancy with it or nothing. All they did was just, they didn't tell any stories about The Rock coming to help Roman Reigns or Paul Heyman possibly turning on Roman Reigns or, Solo Sikoa possibly joining up, linking up with The Rock. I think they don't want to give all of that away just yet, right before WrestleMania season. That's the only reason why I can tell myself that this is the reason why they played it safe. They chose to play it too safe, though. And that's the biggest issue that they're having. They went off Survivor Series. They played it safe. No turn there. No CM Punk and Paul Heyman Alliance there. They went off Bad Blood. Played it safe. The Rock returned there. He counted down to 3. But nothing really happened. They played it safe. When SmackDown came on, last Friday, and you think the 6-man tag match between the OG Bloodline and the new Bloodline is supposed to get you hyped for tonight's episode. Nothing. They continue to play it safe, and that's going to be their biggest downfall if they continue that trajectory this year. And they can dish out their legends. I'm not going to sit here and pretend, okay, that I have an issue with that. That I have an issue with John Cena coming out when I know he's on his retirement tour this year. It's not an issue to me. It should be an issue when I know what your goal is. Trying John Cena out there. I don't have a problem with you putting Hulk Hogan out there, even though the rest of the world may not agree with Hulk Hogan. Damn, that segment was awkward, bro. Oh my God. Dude, I felt so bad for 3H's at that point, man. I know he just, like I said, I know he just wanted to go off the air, bro. He wanted to pull the plug, man, at that point. Dude, I was just cringing. I covered my ears. I turned away. I was just, oh, that was so bad. I don't care if you want to trot your legends out there, but, at least have a purpose for them. NXT does this great, and I don't even watch NXT consistently. I don't really watch NXT at all, to be honest with you. But even I know that when they had the hardcore legends there, they integrated them throughout the current product and led them in backstage segments and things like that. When they had RVD, Dudley Boys out there, they at least integrated them into the current stories, which I actually appreciated. But I will even give NXT some credit to some degree for that, despite the fact that I don't like them. But Raw, I don't know, man. I guess I was expecting a Raw 30 type of feel. I can just review the rest of the show, to be honest. Tribal Combat in itself was not really all that exciting because there was nothing that happened at the end. Just Roman Reigns gets a clean win. Rock comes out, acknowledges him, just like he acknowledged him earlier in the show with his words. So now he comes out to acknowledge him with the Ulafala, puts it on Roman. No tension, no heat, no nothing. No distinct eye connection between him and Paul Heyman. Nothing. We just go right into the next match. Or we go right into the next segment. Which leads me into Rhea versus Liv Morgan. Thank God this feud is over. Thank you so much, so kindly that this feud is over. Rhea gets that World title back. Can they feud with anybody that's not the Judgment Day? Seriously. We got to move on, bro. It's 2025. We got to start putting the puzzle pieces together to start building the women's division around Rhea Ripley that can actually be a credible contender for her in the year 2025. Thank you. So done with this Liv Morgan feud. It was fun while it lasted. They dragged it on way too long. And that's, like I said, that is 3H's problem. He has to stop dragging out these stories, man. You gotta strike when the iron is hot. You can't let these things play out for too long because then you're gonna bore your audience. You don't want to do that, bro. So Rhea gets her strap back just the way it should have ended. This was good shit. I gotta give them credit. This was good shit. The best part to me was the ending. Rhea coming out on top. And then Dom basically getting riptide, which we all saw coming, let's be real. Not once, but twice. Good stuff. So, yeah, what else happened on the show? Of course, we go into the filler, like I said, with the legends. And that's the WWE's problem. They're just, they're used to having the name value. They think that the name value alone is going to sell the show. And that's the attitude that they had here. They were aiming more towards the casual fans for this Netflix debut than the hardcore wrestling fans, which is okay at times. You want to do that, but you don't want to just completely skip out on your hardcore fans, bro. The people who have been invested into what's going on in the current product. You don't want to do that because you'll end up regretting it. Like I think they would. But let's go right into the main event, man. CM Punk, Seth Rollins. This is everything it needed to be. Honestly, I was expecting just a little bit more, just a tad bit more. But hey, the right outcome happened. CM Punk came out. Seth Rollins took the L. Not one, but two GTSs right to the jaw. And your boy Punk comes out on top. Overall, I think that this should have had like a street fight mentality to it. This should have been no holds barred. A straight clean match was just a straight clean match. Punk is not in his 30s no more. He's not in his prime no more. He's up there now. I think he needed a little bit something more to sell you on how good this match was supposed to be. It was good for what it was. I enjoyed it still. Don't get me twisted. Do not get me wrong. I still enjoyed the match. I'm not going to take anything away from what these two men did out there, and they did great. But for the time that they were given, I don't know, man. I just felt like we could have did way more. I feel like with Triple H, he can explore way more this year. Don't just try to play it safe. Don't just try to get out what you're trying to get out and let it be the end of it. No, push the envelope sometimes, man. Go the extra mile. Take risks, take chances. This show did not feel like any risks were taken, any chances were taken. It did not give me the Raw 30 vibes that I was expecting. And maybe I just put too much into this. Maybe I put too much hype into this. I let my expectations exceed me. Let's put it that way. So what do I think about this show on a grade scale overall? To be fair, I would give it a solid 7 out of 10, if I'm being honest. My real rating is 6.5 out of 10 because, not gonna lie, that Hulk Hogan segment, really just killed the vibe of the show for me, man. Not gonna lie. And I like Hulk Hogan, but not a lot of people do. So yeah, there you go. But to be fair, I'm going to give it a solid 7. So yeah, that's what I got. This was more than what I expected to talk about, but that's all I got for y'all, man. I hope that they do better on the next Celebration show, right? I mean, this was history making. This is supposed to be groundbreaking, and I just didn't get that feeling. I just didn't get those vibes, man. I'm sorry. Maybe next week and the weeks after are the more important weeks than this debut. Maybe this is not the most important week. Maybe the weeks to come are the most important weeks, and we can see the progression of what they're trying to do from there. Until then, I'll holler at y'all later. Big deuces, big peace. Tell me what y'all thought down below with the Raw debut on Netflix, and I'm going to get up with y'all next time.